Well, with the playing of that wonderful music, we go out to California and we check in with Michael Snyder to see what's happening with the movies. Hello, Michael.
Hi, Alex. Hello, everybody. We're rocking and rolling on the West Coast and ready to deliver some information about a handful of movies available for your viewing pleasure this weekend. And we actually have a couple of good ones. While a new take on the killer talking doll Chucky is in theaters this weekend under the same old title, Child's Play, only this time he's an evil AI, not demonically possessed. I was forced to choose between reviewing it or seeing another iteration of the evil killer doll trope, Annabelle Comes Home, and for better or worse, I chose Annabelle over Chucky, and that's released next week, and it may have been like choosing a headache over an upset stomach. I'll let you know next week, but I am reviewing a big movie about dolls that talk and piggy banks that talk and plastic dinosaurs that talk. And it's one I was very glad I saw. Toy Story 4. The usual vocal suspects are on board. Tom Hanks as the toy cowboy Woody, Tim Allen as Space Cadet Buzz Lightyear, Joan Cusack as Cowgirl Jessie. They're all back in the saddle for Toy Story 4 from Pixar. Now, did we really need a fourth Toy Story movie when Toy Story 3 did such a lovely, sweet, and emotionally potent job of wrapping up the tale of one boy's toys who come to life and interact when out of the sight of humans? Maybe not. But guess what? This is really good. So there are going to be a couple spoilers about previous Toy Story movies. So if you haven't seen them, and I don't know how that's possible, I'm sorry. But anyway, there are some backstory fills here where a few blanks are covered as we revisit the toys of the movie title when they were first given to a boy named Andy who loved Cowboy Woody most of all. And we see the animated toys' affection for the kid and their dismay when he outgrows them and their eventual fate when they're passed on to a little girl named Bonnie who gives them a new home. Now, the premise of this movie is that Bonnie is old enough now for kindergarten and she's going to attend an orientation and has to reluctantly leave the toys at home. In arts and crafts, she makes a new toy out of a spork and some broken popsicle sticks and names him Forky, and then covets him above all her other nice toys. And this gives Forky some kind of agency, but he doesn't respond well to sentience, which sets the movie in motion, leading to a family road trip with all the toys, wherein Forky, who, by the way, is voiced by Tony Hale from Veep and very funny, he makes a run for it. And Woody, worried about Bonnie's well-being, takes it upon himself to rescue this addled little spork. So you got action and laughs and a reunion with Woody's true love, Bo Peep, who was part of a lamp that was given away a couple movies ago. And a creepy villain, Gabby, voiced by Christina Hendricks. She's a defective, chatty Kathy-type talking doll in an antique store. That's right, another evil talking doll. Only this one comes with ventriloquist dummy henchmen. Plus, there are newcomers, Keegan-Michael Key and Jordan Peele, as two stuffed toys stuck as carnival game prizes, and Keanu Reeves as Duke Kaboom, a toy modeled on a motorcycle-riding Canadian daredevil. I guess they're Evel Knievel. Ultimately, Toy Story 4 is about sacrifice, accepting change, and moving on, maybe even more so than Toy Story 3. And it's damned fine. A perfect coda to the series, at least I kind of hope so. I cannot imagine a better way to end the saga of Woody, Buzz, Jessie, and the rest. Although I thought the same about Toy Story 3. And this is Disney and Pixar. And a cash cow like Pixar's most enduring property is likely to be milked until it is dry and desiccated. Well, Pixar has had some failures, to my mind, in the past few years, especially the horrible Good Dinosaur movie. This is a return to form. I really recommend Toy Story 4. Okay, let's move on to something a little more about humans. There are no talking dolls in Wild Rose. Instead, we get a bravura performance by a young Irish actress and singer named Jessie Buckley. This is an underdog against the odds music business drama. And in Wild Rose, a star is born. I mean, really. She's been around a bit with a splash as a singer on a UK TV talent show, and she's even made some waves as an actress. She was in the recent and powerful Chernobyl series on HBO, but this is seriously powerhouse stuff on the part of young Jessie Buckley. She plays Rose Lynn, a girl from Glasgow, Scotland, who dreams of of becoming a Nashville star. Of course, Rose has just gotten out of prison for, shall we say, drug-related issues. And by the way, she's a single mom with a couple of kids who are basically being raised by her mother. She's a ne'er-do-well with good intentions, and obviously she has talent. Yeah, country music is apparently extremely popular in Scotland, and I think Ireland as well. Alas, Rose wasn't born in Tennessee, so she's financially strapped, and she has to scramble and scheme and humble herself in a drive to get enough money for that dream trip to Nashville and her stab at stardom. She is, to put it bluntly, a long shot. There's humor and pathos, social commentary, and some really solid Americana music, including Glasgow, a lovely ballad about home written by, of all people, actress Mary Steenburgen. I mean, it's really beautiful stuff. And Buckley's at the heart of it with a very magnetic performance on every count, including and especially her singing. She nails the Scottish accent despite being from Ireland, and her co-stars are uniformly wonderful, led by Sophie Okonedo of Hotel Rwanda as Rose's well-to-do boss and potential patron, and the veteran Julie Waters as Rose's long-suffering but loving mom. Wild Rose is a beautifully cultivated movie and should earn Buckley beaucoup bouquets. We'll wrap it up with a reissue, a restoration of a very important documentary, and really appropriate since it's Pride Month. The documentary is Before Stonewall. It's a significant doc from 1984 that illustrates the challenges and the changes that homosexuals experienced in the 20th century in the years before the Stonewall riots, which were initiated when cops raided the Stonewall Inn, a gay bar in Greenwich Village, in 1969. This kicked off the gay liberation movement in the 70s, but all kinds of stuff was going on in media and in private and in public life as well throughout the 20th century. So you get talking head interviews with elder gays and lesbians, including Army vets of both sexes, artists, regular Joes and Janes who lived through the secrecy and the condemnation, and I can't believe I'm using the phrase, witch hunts. You get figures like Allen Ginsberg, who was one of the first out gay artists to really rise to prominence in the 20th century, and you get a sense of what their lives must have been like. And it's in the old TV square aspect ratio, but you can see it in theaters starting this weekend, select theaters, and on Netflix. Probably the best way to view it. What are you watching, buddy? What are you up to?
The only thing I did was I binge watched the Netflix version of Designated Survivor, and much better than it was on ABC.
I love how raw they can get with the dialogue. I really appreciated that.
Yeah, and the issues they take on, and it was far more political than ABC would have ever let them get. So I think it's worth taking time out to watch. Marjorie didn't like it, but I did. So
I think it's Jack Bauer, Kiefer Sutherland, the president we need. I dug it.
Well, I don't want to spoil it, so I'm not going to tell you how it ends. But it's not all a bed of roses. Let me put it that way.
Ouch. Well, you know what's so funny? I have one episode to go, so I'm ready now to be disappointed. But not so here in real life. Come on, get the vote out, people. I'll be back hopefully next week with more reviews. You can check me out on Twitter at Culture Blaster and on Facebook at Michael Snyder's Culture Blast page.
And that's it for our movie reviews for this week. We'll be back again next week with more. In the meantime, if you stick around on our 24/7 feed, you'll hear more GABNet coming right up. Otherwise, go to our list below if you're listening on demand.